Hey,
we're starting early.
I thought he was joking.
For the folks that lined up first, we'll shoot the shit with you for a few minutes. Oh, I said the S word.
I don't even have the beer at the ready yet. I was waiting.
Go get your beer.
I'm gonna go get a beer.
Go get your beer. I'll soft shoe it.
Okay, I'd like to see that.
Okay. Thank you everyone for showing up. For the folks that showed up early and posted, like, don't racialize us, Amy Sanders, MAGA immune mama. Oh God, I can only imagine how you ended up with that name in all caps. It just makes me wonder just how bad the family is with that. Hi, Debbie Smith. And Sunflower Down Under, you keep changing your name.
Hey, at least we know her name's Rebecca now.
Well, I'm glad she keeps Sunflower in there. That's the only reason why I can keep track of
figure out who that was.
Rebecca had changed it to Taurus something or another at one point, which I believe is her astrological sign.
Wow.
And she had to kind of identify who she was at that point. Lev Parnas is warning us that Trump badly wants to be a dictator forever. You think? Will it take a violent civil war to finally get rid of Trump at long last and finally get us a female POTUS? I don't know if we need a civil war for that. Honestly, Trump's not going to live long enough. I do not see him living for 4 years. Look at the guy. His brain is already looking like a fruit cocktail without the cherries. You know what I mean? It's just a mess. And I don't mean like a freshly opened can of fruit cocktail. I mean the one that's been sitting on the counter.
Fruit cocktail without cherries is sad, David.
Yes, it is. It's funny. I had a dream about cherries last night. I had a dream that I was staying at somebody's house and there was a cherry tree outside, and it's like, oh, that looks like a maraschino cherry tree, not the nasty Chinese or Japanese ornamental cherry trees that we had
growing up.
Sour cherries. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, Gary's already getting the dancing shoes on. No, I don't think there'll be a civil war.
Is this yours? You donated some beers to the cause. Is this
it's possible?
Well, who was it?
It would have been for a party a long time ago or something like that.
Oh, great. Give me old beer. I'll still drink it.
No, I mean, like, when was the last time you hosted something at your house where a bunch of people showed up? Like Jody was there. Was that Jody was there for that one, sitting in the backyard, or maybe it was more recent.
Yeah, that was. We have them every now and again.
Yeah. I think Michelle and I grabbed a couple of 4-packs.
Yes.
I just grabbed something that I would drink because I don't drink IPA. Yeah, and Witchy Gardens 919 with the new ice budget. I'm terrified. It's literally become his brown shirts. You know, for all of it's the Democrats or the Nazis. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop gaslighting us. And for those not familiar, Hitler, when he came into power, you know, he had the Gestapo, which were basically the version of ICE. The Gestapo was like ICE. It was a secret police, and that's what this is becoming. The brown shirts, I was mistaken when I was making the comparison. The brown shirts were more his early supporters. So the MAGA would be the brown shirts. So they're the ones that would go to the rallies and beat up people that were counter-protesting or weren't cheering enough. You know, they were the thugs and the criminals, elements that supported the man with the funny mustache back in the day. Yeah, I did. What happened to the anonymous announcement? You know, I meant to look that up. Which taco will be removed first half of August. What do you see? Let me mark that one. Yeah, Gary, did you hear anything about Anonymous? You know, they were supposed to have this great July 4th drop, and I don't recall. I didn't look at it. I was thinking about that last night. I was like, wait a minute, weren't they supposed to drop something on the 4th? And I didn't look it up, and I didn't hear anything about it.
Well, depending on when you start your clock, it could have been June 30th. When I did the reading, it was July 4th. No, it's been nothing but crickets out of there.
Yeah.
They put a couple of videos out, but it's basically just the stuff we've been talking about. You know, there's no receipts, just, you know, well, if you don't stop Trump, you're going to go into an authoritarian state government. And they haven't done anything. A lot of barking and no biting.
Yeah, and I was put out a video about vote tallying issues. I don't know if I've seen that one or not.
For some of them.
Rose Blue wants you to dance for the ICE agents in hell.
Oh God. Yeah, with the ICE agents, there's been a lot of chatter in the comments section. I don't know if Midas Touch put stuff out on it, but that some of the ICE agents might be Jan 6th insurrectionists.
Somebody's thrown that out there because every time they talk about the ICE agents for like weeks now, people are asking, are they insurrectionists? Are they Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, that sort of thing? One person, can we not see David? I'm here.
Oh, not David.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gonna go get not David. I think the first time Trump did this, he was getting prison guards and he was like deputizing them. And I suspect that's what you're getting again. And not to trash on anybody's profession. Hello. Not to trash on anybody's profession, but prison guards are kind of like the second tier. They're like the guys that couldn't make it as police officers and still wanted to be in law enforcement. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it might just be that they didn't, the standards, the high standards that they need, these guys failed maybe in one area or multiple areas. And you can also imagine prison guards would be great for being your thugs because they're used to working with some kind of impunity. The part that offends me is the fact that they're masked and they're not identified.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, then you can't be. The thought is, I can't be held accountable.
Exactly.
And that's a bunch of crap.
Amen. Hey, we got something from the Netherlands. Hi, Susanna. Yay. Or Susanna.
Let's see.
Beer time. Yeah. Hey, anytime it's beer time, Susanna.
All right. Well, we've been chatting. For the folks that are just coming in on time, we started a couple minutes early just because there's folks in the chat. That's how we started our first video. The first time it was accidental, right? Well, kind of. So for that story, Gary wasn't familiar with StreamYard, so I did a StreamYard live. It wasn't broadcasting because I knew you had to hit start stream on it. And I was talking him through the various things and showing the various things that the live did. And when I looked at one point and I saw 13 people waiting or 20 people waiting. It's like, we have people waiting and there's comments. Yeah. What's going on? And what I didn't know was that there's another radio button you can check that says keep it private. So the minute I had started that live, even though we weren't broadcasting or streaming, people got a notification, so they were curious and they poked in. So we just winged it. That's kind of how we do things. Generally speaking, that's kind of how we do things. Yes.
the madness that we do here. Hey, Marcus, how's it going, man?
Hi, Marina. Marina's in the house.
Hey, Marina. Hey, Marcus, Ta. Hope you're having a good evening.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to share one thing from you from watching a TikTok video the other day on Rush. Geddy Lee, the guitarist and bass player for Rush.
Yeah.
His parents are Jewish, and they had fled the Holocaust and moved to Canada. And his mother has a very heavy accent, and his name is Geddy.
Gary.
Yes, and so she would be calling Geddy, get in. Get in the house, Geddy. So everybody started calling him Geddy. All right. Yeah, I love Rush too. I was really depressed when Neil Peart passed away. Fortunately, I got to see Rush twice in concert.
Oh, nice.
And I got to take the second time we went, my son and daughter got to go as well. So my son got to see Rush in concert, and I'm glad we got that in there. I miss Tom Petty, but I mean, Gary and I have had that conversation. Musical groups, things that we miss. Like I miss the fact that I did not get to see Tom Petty in concert. And I will never have seen the Beatles. I was too young for the Beatles. The Rolling Stones, I just don't want to pay the money at this point to watch Mick Jagger dancing around up there. And for Gary, it was there were a couple artists for you that I had seen.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was amazing.
What was the other one? The Allman Brothers. I had tickets for the Allman Brothers, and Greg Allman got sick, and they had to cancel a bunch of shows. And then he got better, and they started touring again. Then he died like 6 months later. So I never got a chance to see the Allman Brothers either.
I've seen Metallica like 4 times. That's the group I've seen the most.
Yeah, that's when you see. You
and every show has been amazing.
Right. I got to see Ringo Starr in his all-star band, and I've seen Paul McCartney. So I've seen at least 2 of the Beatles.
Yeah, Prince, Deborah Prince would be the other one. That's the one my wife. That's the one my wife is most upset about because she loves Prince's music and did not get to see Prince in concert.
Oh, you're kidding!
No,
Shelley never
it's amazing that she didn't do it. I mean, the other amazing one was it was only a few years ago that she and I actually sat down and watched Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you think about how Rocky Horror was advertised. That's the tallest cat I've ever seen trying to talk to you. And Rocky Horror Picture Show is a Thanksgiving Day movie.
It's a Thanksgiving Day movie?
It takes place during Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving Day movie. You should watch it during the holidays. Also saw Police during their 30th year anniversary. Elvis Costello too, but Elvis Costello's voice, he had a cold. His voice was shot. Apparently, Gary didn't send the memo out to his family members that he's busy.
Yeah, no, there was a very large flying object that needed to be addressed.
Don't talk about your spouse like that. All right, let's.
Ooh. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Pop music. Pop music. Apparently, we've already started.
Brought to you by the
Loud and clear. New York, London, Paris, Moscow.
Hey,
everybody talk about pop music.
So, for those of you who might not have noticed, Dave did a Trump health reading on his Tarot by the Bay channel.
I didn't do a Trump health reading. I did a reading on insiders being very concerned about his health.
Yeah.
That's how I skirt the issue. Yeah, what Gary's teasing me is that it's like, I don't want to do another Trump health reading for frick's sake. I can't stand reading on Trump's health. And the reason is, again, nobody here really cares about Trump being healthy. You know, you guys want him to die. You want him to die yesterday. And if it could be preferably the most horrible, painful death, you probably would root for that too. You know, it just and it doesn't help anything. But you know, with but it's almost guaranteed to do well. And that's because Trump just causes so much anxiety with it. So I'll skirt it. You know, some Trump insiders were very concerned about several things going on. It's like, well, let's look and see what the insiders are seeing and what's the energy around that. So, so splitting hairs, really.
When you get a chance, log in. I want to go see it because Dave's been so adamant that he's not going to do another Trump health reading until the actual health event.
As opposed to like, how's Trump's health today? You know, that's the part I'm not talking about. If there's something newsworthy that's actually making the news, then I'll take a look at that.
Hey, Philip, how are you? It's good to see you.
That's anoint us for sainthood. Wouldn't that be amazing? And Philip, I hope if your cancer is in remission, that it continues being in remission, and that you're healthy. You know, it's all I really want. It's just sort of the same thing with Trump. I don't want him to be unhealthy. I don't want him to suffer. As much as he's causing suffering, I don't want that for anybody because I wouldn't want that to come back on me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just wish he wasn't such a shitty person.
And just go away, Trump. Exactly. Go retire. Yeah. Thanks, Mango. Thank you, Marcus. Cheers, mate.
Oh, is that? I didn't recognize. I don't recognize the name. That's 50 pounds too. You can mend the shed with that, Gary.
Oh my God, 50 pounds. That's what I need to lose.
So for the Monty Python fans out there, there's a sketch about a Scottish poet who borrows money from everybody.
Yes.
And one of his famous poems was, "Can you lend me 50 pounds to mend the shed?" That's right. And Gary has a shed.
I do.
A single shed. Yes. He's probably talked about getting 2 sheds, which is another Monty Python sketch.
Thank you, Blind Smile. Cheers. And Tennessee Chin, yay! Hi, Tennessee Chin. Tennessee Chin has been very kind to our channel.
Excellent. All right. Oh, we got another one in here.
Oh,
I can't keep up. Somebody said Libby. Oh, Libby Webb. Okay. Hi, Libby Webb. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, yay. Libby, happy birthday.
Yeah, we're hitting our 60th next month.
Oh, boy.
And Mom's hitting 90 this month. Yeah.
Mom's hitting 90 in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. She's like 89 3/4 now. She'll be 90.
89 9/10.
Okay, so let's jump in here. Roseblue was asking, how many more Republicans will resign before the midterms? One quit Thursday after the vote.
Yep.
I think let's take a look and just see how if you want to do like a 4-carter on this one, just kind of where are the Republicans right now as far as wanting to run again? Because you can imagine you don't want to be a Republican that gets elected after the 2026 midterms if the Republicans are still in charge, because then you're going to have to own the crappy behavior.
Okay, so what are the Republicans feeling like right now? It's like new actions need to be taken. You've got the victory.
Own it, baby.
We basically taken action to give Trump his victory.
Yep.
It's a big happy family. Everyone's celebrating, and we have so much more to do. And we're on a new journey. I don't know. It seems to me
that's it.
Yep. They're happy.
Yep. I totally agree. Yeah. If you read all those cards upright, absolutely. They're not. We're in power. Are you kidding? We're never going to have to leave power again. The fix is in. So I'm not even going to throw on that one. I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah, I think the ones that really had a conscience left a long time ago.
And the Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski's in the Senate, they're just hypocrites. It's like they get to take turns being the I couldn't possibly. It's one of the benefits when you have 53 on your side versus 47 on the other. Yeah. You can allow 2 or 3 of them to pretend that they're offended by the troglodyte-like troglodyte-esque flavor of the Republican policies. Yeah. As somebody who's a former Republican and somebody who just recently became an independent, these guys are so regressive as to be. I didn't even know the word. I hate them. No, I don't hate them, but they shouldn't be supported. Will corporate news anchors and owners be charged with hate crimes by spreading hate? Well, I'll look at it, but don't hold your breath. What will be the maybe this? What will be the consequences for legacy media for not telling the truth? I mean, we saw the defamation cases with the Smartmatic and the election machines. Will there be other consequences for it? Page of Pentacles? There may be fines coming up, big fines coming up for them for their corruption. I think court cases are going to be pursued against them. Court cases are going to go forward. They're going to claim that they were just reporting on the news and it wasn't their fault. But internal documents are going to be revealed on them. And then they're going to have to can we settle for pennies on the dollar? Prison time, I doubt it. Monetary fines, absolutely. And probably they will be forced to change their, as part of the agreement with the courts or with the government, they're going to have to be monitored what they say. And it's almost like the fairness doctrine is going to be applied to them, even if it's not applied across the country. As it's like probation for them, for lack of a better description, or else the FCC could just pull their ability to broadcast, and then it's game over at that point. You know, they'd have to go on YouTube or TikTok or something like that. And I'll tell you what, they're no Midas touch.
No.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, interesting.
I think we both could read on that one.
Yeah. Come on, Cars. Come on.
I wore my taco shirt yesterday. Oh, another one for you, Garf.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Oh, no, she doesn't love us anymore, though. Cheers, Mary.
She doesn't love us anymore? Oh, I love past tense.
I love you guys. Oh, no. Let us know what we need to do to make that present tense again.
You know, the E and the D are right next to each other on the keyboard. I think she accidentally pressed both keys at the same time.
Oh, I don't know. I think
clearly that's what happened. Okay, what's happening with
August? What do you see? Okay. I'll tell you. I'd like to hang on my answer until after I've seen David's video. What does your video say about the first half of August, David?
I haven't looked on first half of August.
Oh dear, that's not a good card.
No.
Okay, Foundation. You got the Five of Cups. Very disappointed. A lot of sorrow. Very upset. People are celebrating.
I like it.
This is getting
Libya. Libya, I hope you like this.
Oh my God! The Two of Pentacles. It's about keeping balance. Oh my God! Four of Swords.
Wow.
Okay, so not knowing anything about Trump's current health, and I keep threatening to do a health video. It sure seems the way I can interpret these cards is something happens health-wise. There are people celebrating this. He's going to need to take a rest and start balancing his golf with his golf. And there's going to be some actions that need to be taken going forward. It's plausible. I'm not going to go out and say there is going to be a health event, but there's something that's going to cause him to slow down.
Yeah, but if that's not a health event, it's the process has started. I sometimes think of the two of coins as the turd circling the toilet bowl.
Yes,
because it's got there is a decline, and if it's a health event, and the cards fit for a health event, right? With the Four of Swords, it's like he goes missing. Whether it's a health event or the news cycle is getting horrific for him, it's almost like he goes into hiding for a while.
Yeah, like when a couple times it seems like he's had transfusions and he goes dark for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
It might be something like that. I don't know if it's a removal, but I think that there's, it's possible. You get the Five of Cups followed by the Three of Cups. It could be a removal.
Yeah. As Sterling sees the process in September, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to throw on this one too because I'm actually intrigued by this one.
Yeah.
I throw a 4-carder on that one as well. The Moon card, secrets being revealed. You got reaping what you sow, Five of Swords, winning and losing, Ace of Swords. And oh God, what's happening I see here is that secrets that he's kept are starting to be revealed. The secrets are coming out about, and I assume it's about the election here, about the winning the election at all costs, the measures that were being taken to it, and investigations springing up. Something is happening where they're looking into his secrets, either like the deals he's made or the election or something. Yeah, there's some cover-up that's being exposed. It's almost like the Watergate investigations. Once the Woodward and Bernstein really started digging in and producing information on it. I think we're going to get by mid-August. It looks like something's being revealed.
When is Rockland? When is that supposed to wrap up?
Well, wrap up. It's going to be a while. They're in discovery. The Smart Elections asked for a bunch of documentation. Now, I'd like to think that Rockland County. It occurred to me last night that maybe Rockland County isn't in on the fix, or some folks aren't in on the fix, and that if it's a software issue or something along those lines, that they're as duped as everybody else was. And that, so where I'm going with this is that all these documents are being asked for in discovery. I got the feeling that Rockland County is actually going to try and provide all the documents as opposed to stonewalling them and slow walking this stuff over. I think it might be the opposite. They want to know too. And you've done some volunteering for county elections, have you not? Yeah. And imagine if you were in charge of that, and like you're hearing this thing that the election might have been interfered with, and you're looking at this data. How would you react to that?
Oh yeah, you take it real serious.
Yeah.
I mean, your credibility's on the line.
Yeah. And you'd probably be like, dude, let's make this a priority. Let's find out if we really had secure elections or not, because that's who you are.
Even in 2020, it's like, okay, yeah, you think that's what happened? Let's prove it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of this. I mean, there's a lot of controls of the documents from the remote polling places to get them to the main polling place to be counted. But that's not to say that you can't corrupt it. It's just it would take some insider help and a lot of technology, but it's not implausible.
Yeah. Do I see him getting removed? I don't see him getting removed, but what I do see is that the ball's rolling. The ball is rolling on that. Now I had started a bunch of
Lily's online. Baldur's place. Hey, Lily. What else we got?
I'm looking here.
Kind donations that we can thank people. But hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Embalming fluid IV, keeping him upright.
Oh my goodness!
It's like the foam. I think it's the foam that they stick in there, that insulated foam that you put into the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Hello, twins. Will Mark Cuban partner with Elon to start a new party? Will Mark be the adult in that relationship?
I saw some article today. It sounded like Elon has started that process.
Yeah. I was watching Belle of the Ranch, and she was talking a bit about that. Elon's approach is going to be very measured, where he's going to pick certain red states where he feels that he could get a candidate in the House or in the Senate, because he only needs to grab a couple of seats because the majorities are so razor thin. You get just a couple of seats, and then you can play the
kingmaker.
Yeah.
You think about oh god, now I'm forgetting the dude's name. He was a senator like in West Virginia. And he was always, he was like the 50th vote or the 51st vote. And he would just living on his boat, like, I don't know, shower me with bribes and influence, and you'll get my vote.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Okay, so let's take a look. Will Mark Cuban partner with Elon? Just a little quickie on that one. Okay, is Mark Cuban going to partner with Elon? We're going to make the magic happen. Because we're seeing the MAGA crazy. It's time for a new journey. And we've got the money and the means to do it, but we don't know what we're doing. We're not sure how we're going to do it. I'd say that looks like it's very plausible.
And thank you for the folks mentioning Joe. It's Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin was the name.
Okay.
I swear to God, the names that we have here. Mansion, which rhymes with mansion. This guy has just basically bribed his way to a wealthy lifestyle. I'm sure if you were to look at if they were to audit his yearly income from his day job versus his lifestyle, it's like, how did this happen? Because I suspect I out-earn him.
Oh,
Yet I don't. My lifestyle, I'm sure, pales in comparison to his.
Same with Mike Johnson. His annual salary doesn't seem, what he claims is his annual salary is probably not lining up very well with his lifestyle, especially the number of kids he has.
Mike!
Joey Blowy.
That's one of my friends who lives in Canada. Mike Andrewski. That's Mike. We met through
Rodriguez. Cheers.
We met through Warhammer 40K, Gary. We go up to Mini Wargaming and do videos. And one video, we were just making up a guy's name and called him Joey Blowy.
Oh, God. Hey, Cindy Mapelli. Hi, Cindy. Totally recognize you. Hope you're having a great day, Cindy.
Hold on for a second. Yeah, I totally see Mark Cuban. I certainly see Elon doing it. Is Mark Cuban part of the thing, or is that just a speculation or a rumor that Mark Cuban is looking to join?
Got the headlines. Cuban has certainly shared his political leanings. So that could be the moon card. Is that it's not clear if Cuban's going to join in or not, actively join in.
Let me ask. Will Cuban join forces with Elon? Elon, I know, is going to start it because Elon's just a shit disturber. And again, if Elon could get just enough votes, in there that he forms a third party, it gives him an outsized political influence.
Yep.
Again, the minority telling the majority what to do. But what about Mark Cuban? Will Mark Cuban join forces with Elon Musk? I don't know about that. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because it's like Mark Cuban knows better. He can't trust Elon. Here's the deal. Elon with his cars, Elon's too mercurial. He can't focus on anything for any length of time. And the reason why he wouldn't is that Elon can't focus on anything for any length of time. So Mark Cuban's going to have to do all the heavy lifting, and then Elon's going to want to be the face of it. Now, the other way to look at it is if he does join it, it's to tear down the system in Washington. Think of this as like the Washington Monument. They're tearing down the system. They know they can do it, and then that puts the political parties on edge. They can drive policy forward and then forward their agenda. So actually, I kind of like that second one better. It flows more easily. Let's put it this way. I think Mark Cuban is maybe reluctant or worried about partnering with Elon because he's an unreliable partner. But if he did, they probably could exact some incredible change in the status quo in Washington, D.C. Joyce loves the cat t-shirts. Thank you. I actually had my cat father shirt that I was going to wear today, and I opted for the cat says no t-shirt.
Oh my God, Nelly, I'd be passed out on the floor if I did that.
Let's see. I don't know if I showed you this one.
Yes. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Cindy.
Now you got another one.
Oh, Amy Sanders, cat treat time. Cheers. Right on. My cats support your comment. In fact, I threw some treats in their kibble bowl, so the next time they go to have kibble, they'll have like Lucky Charms.
And Amy's asking, do you see Michigan staying Democrat? When we have a gubernatorial race next year.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yes, Morrow, you did catch the double meta slide.
Okay. Well, the Michigan State Democrat. Okay, so you got the 7 Pentacles, looking at things of value and what you want to harvest in the future. You got the World, kind of coming to an end of a cycle. Page of Pentacles, kind of a new evaluation of what you value. Ace of Wands, new action being taken, and the Fool card, a new journey. Oh boy. It seems like Michigan wants a change, is what I'm getting from that. It really depends if you're reading these cards as the Michigan voter or outside factors influencing how the voters react. If it's just the Michigan voters in a vacuum, it seems like they want to change a direction. That it's like, you know what? It's the end of a cycle. We need to go to a younger, or it could just be younger people are going to basically, I think that's where I'm going with this. The younger people, however they vote, is going to swing Michigan's election vote in the gubernatorial race.
Is Gretchen Whitmer, I believe that's the Michigan governor. Is she running again, or is she termed out and there's a new candidate coming in?
I'm getting youthful energy and new beginnings there.
I think we certainly do pick up on we think similarly.
Yeah. Well, Dave and I, we've had a very similar upbringing. We're definitely different people in certain ways. But having so much shared history, we kind of tend to go down the same path. What some of Dave's frustration is that when I read, it takes me a little while to get to the right answer.
But generally speaking, you get there. But but Gary's been doing this for a year now, so the pace picks up. And you watch me, like when I'm doing that 7-card reading, I'm going fast at this point. I don't stop and contemplate anymore. I'm just racing through it because it flows at that point. I don't want to overthink it, because the whole thing is that, and Gary I think this happens to you too. When I'm reading, my intellect numbs. But the sharpness of my intellect is dulled. And I can't remember things like Joe Manchin's name. Yeah, type of thing, because it's just kind of like, and that lets me know that I'm kind of in the zone at that point. Yeah, my IQ's dropped a few points.
all of a sudden, Trump's policies are starting to make sense to you. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that is not what's happening. Let's see.
The one thing I can say is, when we first started doing this, I could remember for weeks what we threw on,
yes,
what we got, and where we were going with it. Now, I don't remember, like 2 hours after we've done it, I don't remember what we've done.
I'll forget mid-reading if I answered a question.
Yeah.
I don't know. More super stickers. I don't know if I showed you these or not.
Thanks, Robin. Cheers. Oh, Leslie. Hey, Leslie. Thank you so much. That's a dance and a drink. Crystal, hey. Say hi to the principal for us.
Let's see.
Crystal, are you in the States or are you in Australia? Because your comments always come at a time where I'm not sure if you're up really, really, really late at night, early in the morning, or if you're just in the early evening out there in New Zealand, Australia time. Let us know.
So, Gary, what's the cost to see a movie in a theater out there? You
That
guys.
is a great question. I can tell you what it costs at the Stanford Theater, which is a downright bargain. It's $7 for an adult, $6 if you buy a 4-pack, and $5 if you're a child or a senior. If you go to a regular movie theater, I couldn't tell you, but I guess it's probably about $15.
Yeah, I think, and by the way, Stanford Theater, you just went to Stanford Theater last night to watch a double feature, right?
I did. I saw.
Tell the audience which modern movies you watched at the Stanford Theater last night.
Yes, well, the first was the less modern was Dial M for Murder, and then the more modern one was from 1959, North by Northwest.
Exactly. Not current movies. So Florida was going to pass a ban on prawn apps. Oh, there's a typo there. Like
is
Tinder.
that porn apps so that we get past?
You're not supposed to say the word. You're supposed to say, prawn.
Prawn. Got it. Got it.
It's like, the California license plates, the children's license plates where you have like a star on there. You get put prawn star. They said they'd release every Republican in the party who used Tinder.
Oh
and
my
Florida
God.
Republican changed their mind quickly.
Hysterical.
I bet. Let's see. What else do I have starred here?
So Crystal said that sleep pattern, but are you in the U.S., Crystal? Let's see. KS long question. Well, don't your eyesight go. Look at his eyes. Looks like maybe they are already. Huh.
That would be horrific for him, because you think about it, he relies on his eyesight for everything. He's again, he embodies all 7 deadly sins, and if he could come up with a few extra deadly sins, he absolutely would. Somebody was just on TikTok was playing the interview on the Howard Stern show where he was talking about going into the locker room or the dressing room, the Miss Teen USA. Mind you, these are girls 14 to 19 years old, and he's checking up on girls getting dressed and changed. So everything is visual. Not to mention, you can't play golf. He wouldn't be able to play golf. He wouldn't be able to leer at women. He wouldn't be able to see all his gold furnishings and stuff like that. Him going blind would be like horrific from one of the senses going through.
Well, let's see. What do we got? We got the King of Wands, just actions being taken. It's bold actions taken forward. The world, you're coming to an end of a cycle. You've got the 7 of Wands, defending yourself. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. And then the Ace of Swords, new truth coming out. I think if he's got eye issues, he's taking strong actions to defend his eyesight. And it's right now he's happy with the progress they're making good progress against it, that the treatments are working well. But the Ace of Swords, there may be something coming forth. Maybe the Ace of Swords in this case is just a surgery of some sort.
I was wondering if Michelle were here, she could clarify it for me. What macular degeneration comes to mind? And only say that because her mom had that, and then she'd have to have a needle stuck in her eye to address it. And I'm wondering if your Ace of Swords is like a needle in the eye to address eye issues.
Yeah, because when I worked at Genentech, they actually had a drug for macular degeneration, and it was a shot in the eye.
Yeah, now
the drug works really, really well. It was one of the best drugs we had.
And the other thing was, I don't know how this man does not have diabetes. How does Trump not have diabetes? And if you're not managing it, then you could go blind that way too. So I think anything that would cause eyesight loss for him is being addressed. if he's got anything. Again, entertainment purposes only. We have no idea what his health is, because if you ever read the White House health records, he's the healthiest person who's ever lived on the planet. He makes Rasputin seem like a sickly child. Just yeah, and he's 6'2.5", 220 pounds of lean, mean fighting machine.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I pointed this out when we were doing the videos when he was in Saudi Arabia trying to schmooze up to the Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, MBS.
Yeah. So the Prince of Saudi Arabia is 6 foot tall. And if you look at pictures of him and Trump, he is every bit as tall as Trump, if not a smidge taller.
Right.
And there is no way Trump is over 6 feet right now.
He's 79 years old. You shrink as you get older. It just happens.
Yeah.
No shame in that. But I guess, again, when vanity is talking about his eyesight, when vanity is everything,
yep.
I can't possibly. I kind of barely hit 5'9". Some days I'm 5'9". Other days I'm like 5'8" and 7/8. That the nurses kindly rounded to 5'9", because it was a whole lot closer to that than 5'8" or 5'8.5". Yeah. But I don't even know if I'm 5'9" anymore. I probably still am, but I know by the time I'm 75, 80 years old, I'm going to be like 5'6" or something like that.
Well, our godmother, she was probably about 5'8", 5'9".
Oh, she was like 5'9", 5'10". She was tall.
Yeah, and she's like 5. She's the same height as Mom now.
Oh God, Mom was 5'2", and maybe she's still.
Mom was 5'4". She's probably 5'2" now.
Yeah, still towers over Michelle though. All right, your buddy Stephen Miller.
Oh yes.
When will Stephen Miller be gone?
Be gone. Oh.
Purple drink.
All right, I'm going to take this as when he is no longer have influence.
Right, there's a good idea. I'm going to ask.
Because that could mean anything.
Yeah, the link of I'm just going to do a general read on Stephen Miller. I'm going to do a quick one here.
Okay, you go. Because
you did the last one. It's my turn. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. Video. Being a card hog.
Stephen Miller. I'm laughing because I'm wondering if he takes a plea deal. It's kind of like Stephen Miller's the rat. He's literally the rat that knows to jump the ship. He's actually doing all the work behind the scenes. This is the Stephen Miller regime. I think that's who Trump is listening to the most. But it's crossed by the death card. So things are coming to an end for Miller. He's been enacting his policies, his values on people. Currently, he's in his heyday. He's at his zenith right now. But things are changing quickly. There's investigations afoot or actions being taken that's going to diminish. Oh, crap, whistleblowers. Whistleblowers are coming out on Stephen Miller. What are they going to do? They're going to tell about the scenes, what's going on behind the scenes, secrets he has, and those secrets are going to be revealed. Stephen Miller, to quote Linda Grindle, Comanche Psychic, he's going down. How soon? He's going down. He will not be in power like forever and ever and ever type of thing. Do not be surprised when he shows up in some super PAC somewhere or something like that. The far right, the neo-Nazis in the United States will gladly embrace him forever and ever and ever because he's as miserable a person as they want him to be.
Yeah, so Ann Hummingbird had a comment. Did you see that clip of Stephen Miller giving a speech?
I'm so far down on the can't be booted soon enough. File human soulless homunculus that he is. Is that the comment you wanted?
No. Ann Hummingbird said, have you seen the clip of him doing his speech in high school? Whereas I think that was the one where he was basically saying, well, why should I use the garbage can? That's why we have janitors to pick up the trash.
Yes. I mean, going all the way back there, punching down on the janitors. And Gary, when we went to school, junior high school, especially high school, what ethnicity were the janitors that we had? Were they Caucasian or non-Caucasian?
I don't remember. I just
They're
remember.
non-Caucasian.
I just remember Mr. Lin from our elementary school.
Elementary school, yeah. Generally speaking, they were non-Caucasian.
Yeah,
but he's punching down.
Yeah, our minds never worked like that. There was a trash can, you threw it in the trash. You weren't supposed to litter. That was kind of it was courtesy, But so Stephen Miller is more. What's the word I'm looking for? He's provocative. You know, he does things to get a reaction, and he's probably a bit of an asshole.
Oh, yeah, just a bit.
I don't know him personally, but he's probably an asshole, and he likes getting people riled up by making provocative statements and doing things that are provocative.
Oh, that's interesting. I've forgotten about Cassidy Hutchinson. Cassidy Hutchinson is the Cassidy that
the whistleblower is no Cassidy. I know she was so amazing on those Jan 6 trials, and it's just such a shame that they weren't able to completely follow up with that because the Democrats got lost their majority in Congress, so they couldn't push it forward. She's at least she showed character. I'll give her that.
When if I were and I don't remember if you had watched much of the Jan 6 trial videos.
Every bit of it.
Did you watch all? If I was going to like my friend Chip, if I don't think he watched him, that would be the one I would have him watch. Just watch. You don't have to watch all of them. Watch this one.
Yeah,
because to me she was so credible.
Yeah, most believable.
Honest, believable. And the whole story of she's switching lawyers because she realized the lawyers that were being paid for her didn't have her best interest in mind. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I have integrity, and if I have to pay a political cost for my integrity, that's fine because that's who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I don't know what happened to her. Oh, wow.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. Yay. Cheers. I have to get another beer here soon.
I think we missed this one.
Oh, I did. Oh, yay. Pie 1984. That's some old pie.
Jeez. I think he means if you had a pie that was made in 1984.
That is exactly what were you thinking I meant? Hey, I got a great pie story.
Well, pie, 1984 could be the year that pie was born. That's why I was like, dude. She's only 19 years younger than us.
I just say we were born in 65. Let's not go down that path, Gary. I went to Lucky's, and they had Dutch apple pies that they had marked down from $9 to $6. And then some of these pies had a $5 off coupon. So I bought a Dutch apple pie today for $1.
for less than the cost of a Hostess fruit pie, which would probably cost $2.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was going out to the cars. Like, you could go to the Hostess fruit pie aisle and say, hey, kid, would you rather have this little Hostess fruit pie or a whole freaking pie, a whole 9-inch pie?
Now, for those in the comments, because we all grew up with Hostess fruit pies, put in your favorite pie flavor.
We're one of the most delicious treats.
Put in your favorite pie flavor. Was it apple? Was it cherry? Was it berry? Was it lemon? Was it chocolate? Put in your favorite pie flavor.
I would say it was cherry because as much as I would always want the chocolate, it was just too rich for me. So I'd say cherry was the winner.
I remember you like cherry. You always got cherry. I like the apple ones.
You got the apple, yeah.
Yeah. Gino, our sister got lemon. I don't remember what our older sister got.
We didn't get her anything. We just mocked her.
Yeah, exactly. We just ate it in front of her.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for helping me stay calm. Everything that Doge and the BBB is directly affecting every part of my life, and I'm very worried.
Yeah. So really quick, And this is, I totally recognize you from the comments, and mostly because you got a great username and you got a profile picture. So those are things that I kind of, when I'm responding, I remember pictures, I remember clever names, or I remember names in this. So if you're out there, put an interesting profile picture in. I guarantee I will remember you.
and if you're Sunflower Down Under, you can change your name on a weekly basis. Just keep Sunflower in there.
Exactly. Yes.
So you can keep up with the name of the week.
Like Amy Warrior Princess. I will always recognize Amy Warrior Princess.
Sure. And as far as this goes, Doge. I think the worst thing that Doge done hasn't manifested yet. They got a bunch of information and they're going to throw that into AI. And AI is a tool. Is it going to be a tool used for good? Or is it going to be a tool used for bad? We don't know the answer to that because we don't know who's in control of it. I think it will accidentally become a tool for good. But I don't think the original intention of putting in there was benevolent because Elon. And a lot of the contracts that they canceled, they didn't cancel squat. The worst thing they did was fire tens of thousands of federal workers. And that's a bunch of crap. And hopefully that can be rectified with the next administration that comes in. As far as the BBB bill, that one is basically, that's a ticking time bomb. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the most severe cuts or severe changes that are that impact folks don't happen until after the 2026 elections. The no tax on tips, the no tax on overtime, which really is basically you get credit at the end of the year for that up to a certain amount. That'll get implemented immediately, but it's only good for 3 years. Therefore, when the new president comes in, that's going to be expired. And if things get taxed again, they want the public to blame the new administration, especially if it's a Democrat in there for it. Much like the first time the Republicans passed their budget agenda, all the stuff that helped middle class people or poor ended when Biden got in office. So that's why these guys are completely.
David just froze. I love the picture of him like this. I wonder if our live stream is still going. Are we both frozen, or can you hear us? I'm just curious because Dave's frozen on my screen and the chat has stopped.
Well, that was fun.
You're back.
Yeah, I got probed. Damn aliens! I can't sit down. I have to stand up now.
You were like this.
Oh, I saw you do that, and I thought I was doing it again, and then my screen went blank, and then we were both spit buffering. Okay, so I guess that's Spirit's way of saying get on with it.
Yeah, right.
Okay. we did pie already. Teresa Springs, thank you.
Cheers. Lily, yay! Baldur's Place. Osa, how are you, my dear?
And Brooke.
Now, and I agree. Like a fishing lure sticking out of the side of his mouth at that point.
Yeah, to finish the thought, the BBB is a ticking time bomb. The worst things don't happen until after the elections in 2026. And if the Democrats somehow, because of the Rockland County case, can get in, they can undo that, defuse that bomb before the worst goes off. Or it just might be after the 2026 elections. The Democrats, amongst all the things they need to make a priority, they're going to have to make that a priority to undo parts, basically pass a budget to undo the worst of it, or come up with some new program to help with SNAP benefits and Medicare and Medicaid. We'll see what happens with that.
For those of you out there, I was watching Belle of the Ranch last night, and she was talking about will the Democrats be able to overturn the worst of the BBB? And she had a really good point, is that we're basically going to be stuck with this probably for the next 4 years, because in order for the Democrats to override it, or they're either going to need Republican support, or they're going to have to get super majorities in both the House and the Senate.
That's true, because you have to have 60 votes in the Senate to get through there, unless they go through the reconciliation like the Republicans did. And I think as I recall, you're limited to how many of those reconciliations you can do.
Well, the fact of the matter is, if Trump's in the executive branch, if Trump's president, he's just going to veto it, and you're going to need 2/3 of the House and the Senate to override it. So unless they have help from the Republicans or they have a supermajority, we're basically going to be stuck with this until we can get Trump out of the Oval Office, which is depressing, but it is basically information that needs to be out there. Oh, thank you, Pam! Yay!
That's California $10. As opposed to
Yes,
Canadian
exactly. We're starting our own currency. Elbows up, California.
Okay. Anything you want to read on?
No, we got people that are asking questions.
Do we?
Yes.
I haven't flagged anything. We say I've been going through through them here.
Hey, so
question. I see something in her question here. Let's just click on and see what we got.
What will happen to the Affordable Care Act health insurance? It will be good, affordable options. God, I hope there will be, because Trump's all about getting rid of it, and he's got nothing to replace it with.
It's got Obama's name on it. I don't like it. You have the Trump health. I thought the Trump health plan was only 2 weeks away.
Yeah, so is it
6 years ago.
Okay, let's see. So what will happen with it? It looks like it's moving. Something's moving forward. Don't believe everything.
Kamara says Congress can only do one reconciliation a term. So
okay.
Yeah, you have to pick and choose your battles.
Okay, so as far as the Affordable Care Act health insurance,
I thought for a second you froze there. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, no, I'm
paranoid here.
I'm trying to figure which. Okay, so let me just start talking. So you got the chariot, which means you've got something. You've got like a victory moving forward. You know, it's like the hero of the battle is going to move forward, but there's confusion. They're unclear on what to replace it with. I think what this is saying is Trump wants to replace it. He wants to move forward with his agenda. He doesn't know what to replace it with. He has a concept of a plan, but it's going to take a lot of actions, and they're going to have to be able to fight and defend. You know, there's been so many attacks on it, but it's so important in the cycle of things. Right now, my bias is kind of taking over, which I think is going to be nothing's going to happen to it. It's still going to be there, but I'm not centered on this one. I don't know. If you've got thoughts, Dave, feel free to tell me where I'm wrong.
Oh no, what I see happening there, it's going to go forward. It's still going to be around. They're thinking about getting rid of it, but they know better than to get rid of it without having something to replace it. They learned their lesson the first time. You can't take away people's health care during a pandemic like Trump wanted to do the first time. They don't have a problem getting rid of Medicare and Medicaid and that sort of thing, but they don't want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act just yet unless they've got their own plan. Now, you can imagine that the lobbies for the healthcare industry, the United Healthcares of the world, are probably dumping tons of money and very expensive lunches on House members and senators to come up with a health plan that benefits the big healthcare providers more than maybe what they've already got. So now here's No, that's not what I wanted. The thing jumped. Where is it? No. Here we go. Will the ACA be funded?
Well, we need to take care of everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
or pregnant women.
Yeah. The financial call. I'm the only one to quit. New truth. Okay, so will the ABA be funded? You got to take care of the people, but this one troubles me. The Five of Swords. They want to keep cutting when they need to stop, and there's a truth is going to come out, but you're going to need to ask the right questions, and the truth will come out, and it's just a bunch of nonsense.
We're going to cut out funding for women's health, is what that's showing.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting from it.
The patriarchy and MAGA, they're going to continue cutting funding for women's health. Yeah. They want women to be pregnant and sick. Stay at home, be a stay-at-home mom for 10 kids, 10 white kids, by the way. Yeah, because we don't want those brown kids. That's pretty much what they want there. And for those that aren't aware, what's really happening is the majority white couples are having less and less children, and immigrants are having bigger families, and the U.S. is going to become a country where the whites make less than 50% of the overall population. And that scares the bejesus out of the white supremacists in this country. So they're trying to do everything they can to force white families to have babies and get rid of brown people, to try and reverse that trend so that they can keep the white supremacist style laws on the books. That's in a nutshell, as horrible as that sounds, that's what's happening. Not sugarcoating it. And I don't agree with any of that. People are people. It doesn't matter how much melanin you have in your freaking skin, but you can't convince folks one way or another with that. Racists are racists. Hold on for a second here. Okay, we've got that.
Oh, thank you, Maria. Cheers. Oh, and thank you, Mary. I'm running out of beer here.
He's going to be drunk by the time this show's over.
Oh, my goodness. A little water chaser there. Water, wink, wink. God,
exactly.
Gin or something like that. Oh, man. My readings would really get sparkly towards the end.
I want to read on what do I want to read on?
What do you want to read on?
I don't know.
I ask you this every day we do a recording.
I say whatever you want to. I make them think about it. That's a lot of pregnancies, Ann. That's a lot of pregnancies.
Yeah,
and that's hard. I mean, we've had miscarriages. We've had miscarriages that have happened in our family, and it's absolutely devastating. And the thought that you're cutting healthcare, women's health services helps address as much of it as you can. Now, some miscarriages you can't avoid it. Things happen, but how do you, on the one hand, want women to have a bunch of kids, and then you cut the health care that they need to have a bunch of healthy kids? Oh, that is not. Stop it! Stop it! Did it again. There.
God.
The comments are coming in. I mean, they're not like super fast, but just like click on it, it jumps.
They just wanted the follow-up message from Ann. Yeah, and I'm so sorry you had to go through so many miscarriages. It's just emotionally devastating going through something like that.
Right.
Cheers. Really, this is water.
The assumption is miscarriages when you've had that many pregnancies and they're not going through.
Here's my Pete Hegseth impersonation.
Yeah, exactly. I'll read on just. I actually had that one starred. Chief Justice Roberts. What does he want to see happen? And I had one flagged earlier. Let me see if I can find that one. Hold on. I want to look. Yeah, it was Lilia. Same thing. Let's just do it. I'm gonna do a general reading on Justice Roberts. What's this dude's deal? I mean, a Jekyll and Hyde type of thing with Roberts. What's his deal? We've got the lover's card and the plan forward. I think he's got some idealized versions of what he wants to see in the United States. I do think he wants a united court, but the problem is that he has to get his agenda through as well. You got the Chariot, the Lover's card, and the Knight of Wands. Let's see where this takes us here. In the past, you get the Hierophant, leader of the Supreme Court. He's not. I don't think he's real happy with the way the Supreme Court is operating things. It's a kangaroo court, and he's in charge of a kangaroo court. I just don't think he doesn't. You know what the problem is? He does not wield a big enough stick to keep the court in line, and the court's out of control. That's what's happening here. There's big money coming in, paying off the judges, or anything that he does that he says he wants to do has little effect on a couple of the judges. I'm looking at you, Clarence Thomas and Joseph Alito. Lester Bueller's The Wheel of Fortune. Things are spinning out of control. I don't know how he gets control back again. The outcome is the High Priestess. The only thing that's keeping that court sane are the women. The 4 women on the court are the only thing keeping that sane, but they're outvoted. And one of the women is Amy Coney Barrett, and she's a wild card as far as that goes. He would do well to side with the women more than he does the men on that one. I just think, honestly, I don't think he's evil. I think he's feckless. He's not a good leader. He's not the right person to lead that court because he gets trampled on. He doesn't use his stick. It's almost like he's too nice a guy, and therefore he gets ignored.
Just a real quick comment. I know there's some real tragic flooding that's been happening in Texas.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about it yesterday. I haven't read too much on it.
I was watching Bella the Ranch, and she was talking about some of the early alerts that were going on. I guess there was a river in Texas. You get this, in 90 minutes, the river rose 20 feet.
Jumping cats. You don't have time to get the hell out of the way.
That's exactly the point. They were doing alerts. The feds were giving alerts, but by the time the local officials were getting them, I mean, it was such a severe weather event that it was difficult to stay in front of it. And what concerns me is, Trump has been smashing and bashing FEMA, diverting their funds to build this alligator Alcatraz. Is that in Florida? I'm assuming it's in Florida. That's
in Florida.
And
they're having flooding there too. I guess the biblical floods are here, huh?
Yeah. So I'm just more curious. Is FEMA going to be able to respond in an adequate fashion to support the people of Texas? Because there's been a number of deaths, and there's probably a whole bunch of people that are unaccounted for. So I imagine that this could the death toll could rise from that.
Yeah, the one story I saw was that there was like a girls' youth camp or something like that were camping near that river, and it just basically got swept away. And they're looking for survivors, and I think the thing is, what they're not saying is they're looking for bodies.
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of her point, is that if you got to get these alerts out quickly, and Trump's defunding these agencies that do this, and it becomes, instead of a rescue operation, it becomes a recovery operation. Right.
And to Stars and Book Series, not only FEMA but also the National Weather Service.
Yeah, I think it's the National Weather Service giving
NOAA.
Which she was
in NOAA. Michelle. My wife works for the government in California, and she has friends that work for NOAA that have had all their funding cut. And, it's just sort of like exactly. This is when you're cutting funding for stuff like this. There was even a Florida weather person who was, I guess, very popular down there, was out there several weeks ago saying, you know how I can give you a heads up on things? I can't guarantee you that anymore. Basically, because of the funding cutting, it's no longer going to be an early warning to get out. It's going to be kind of like, instead of proactively getting people out, it's now going to be recovery. And that's the evil downside of these unnecessary cuts. And going back to what Ann Hummingbird was saying about worried about what Doge has done. That's the most criminal thing Doge has done, is impacting the lives of everyday Americans by unnecessarily cutting services that help everybody, even if it's not obvious on the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay, on that, can we have something maybe a little more cheerful? I don't want to end on that one.
Well, how about a Trump health reading?
Yeah, it's definitely cheerful. Okay. No, we're still on that one. Cheerful. La 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 la. Rainbows and sunshine.
And ponies.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. You have any questions you want to ask?
No.
All right, then I guess we can end it at this point. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, although technically only an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This will brighten your day.
Oh, Susie Wiles.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I bet you that woman's not dumb enough to go to prison for Trump. That's my guess. Again, with the last name Wiley. Clever like a fox. 4 Carter Garv.
Okay.
We'll both do it. All right. Signifiers, 1, 2, like war. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah. It's like, I've got information I can give you.
Yeah. And I'm not going up the river for you. Next one. She knows the secrets.
It's once again, I've got information to give you regarding the felon.
And I got the secrets, and I ain't going up river. I'm sharing it.
I've got lots of action, lots of things I can share.
Yeah, to me, this is I'll go forward with the evidence because I ain't going up river for you.
And I can tell you who was involved in the discussions.
And she's going to say, yeah, pretty much, yeah, immunity deal. Temperance. So I get the high priest. I know the secrets. Temperance, I'll tell you everything I know, but I want immunity because I don't want to go to prison. She's already planning this. I think she's already started that conversation.
There's going to be a lot of people upset with what she shares.
What did you get for your underneath card?
Ace of Cups.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a bit more positive. I don't doubt for a second that Susie Wiles says, yeah, I'm Audi 5000 with this dude. There is no way I'm going to prison for you, buddy. She's had her day in the sun, and she's not going to spend a bunch of pain in the rain, as it were. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so generally speaking now, questions that you have for us. Not necessarily political related, sort of like stuff that you've always wanted to ask us that you've never had an avenue or a forum to do so. So, yes, identical twins. Yes, Gary is older by 6 minutes. Mother did not know we were identical twins. She thought she was having a single child. And it was only after Gary was born that they realized that she was not having a single child. She tried to give me away to the doctors. The doctors wisely said no. And my dad was handing out cigars saying, I had a son, have a cigar. Wait, take a second one. That was his way of letting people know that he had twins. Are we Virgos?
Almost.
No.
We were close.
We were supposed to be Virgos.
Yes.
We are Leos.
We were born a month early. My mom delivered us. She was a month premature with us, so we're Leos. What is your first Python movie? I'm assuming the first movie that we've seen.
I think it was Holy Grail. I think we saw Holy Grail before we saw Life of Brian in the theaters.
I would agree with that.
But we saw the TV series before we saw any of the movies. We had heard about Holy Grail, and Gary and I were both into medieval stuff. We both had played Dungeons and Dragons, so wanting to see the Holy Grail was way up on the list. It wasn't available to watch.
Yeah, so
it's not like we had Netflix back in the day.
Yeah, we were fortunate as much as our dad was an early adopter. So we had a VCR in around 77, 78, and he also got involved with Showtime. He had got a subscription to Showtime. So between that and videotaping stuff on PBS, we actually were able to watch Holy Grail. Yes, Gary has a tan. Dave does not. I swim. It's an outdoor pool up at the college nearby me, and I've been swimming a lot. I've been trying really, really hard to swim either early in the morning or late in the afternoon, early evening, because I will get as dark as my shirt if I don't take precautions there. Just trying to take care of my skin as best I can.
Yeah, and I haven't been out, so this is kind of like the natural. But even still, I've got a farmer's tan.
Look at those guns.
So I had guns at one point. Unfortunately, it was about 9 years ago now. But that's what getting into a relationship with Michelle will do for you. I stopped going to the gym. Instead of having a 6-pack, I have a keg. Yeah. And I did have a 6-pack at one point. You'd never know now.
Yeah, exactly. It's still there. It's just
it's hidden under a protective layer of fat. No, at 51 I had a 6-pack again, and I was working on the full 8.
Yeah.
And then I met a hot little blonde, and other things were more interesting than getting up at 4 a.m. and driving to the gym and lifting heavy things for 2 hours. When did we start reading cards? Mine was right before COVID hit. I took a class with Dr. Lena Rodriguez, and that class was happening just before COVID, and she encouraged me to do readings for friends and stuff like that, and practice. I had a reading done with Linda G, and she encouraged me to start a YouTube channel. That's how I started this, and then for about 6 months. I started lobbying my brother. At the beginning of 2024, I began lobbying Gary to join me on this one, even if it was just for color commentary. And
so I made a guest appearance on Dave's channel a couple of times.
And if you go to my channel, if you go to Tarot by the Bay, there's actually a playlist called Twin Tarot, and those were my early videos with Gary.
Yeah, where it's just like, so Gary, what do you see here? I don't know. No idea what was going on. So for me, I started reading just over a year ago after Dave leaned on me to do the Twin channel. And what I did was he gave me a starter deck that had the definitions on the cards, and I was treating them like flashcards. And then I watched a couple of videos, one by Moon Scarab, where he went through the whole deck with major and minor arcana. And then there was another lady out of England whose videos I watched a couple times. And I will go back and I'll rewatch them just to sort of reground myself. But at this point, it's just I'm going on gut feel and intuition on what the cards mean. So I'm not always sticking to the exact definitions because I don't know if there really are exact definitions anymore. There's just interpretations of what.
There's so many different interpretations for the card, and that's how Linda G does it. She doesn't go by the exact definition; she goes by feel. And I have to keep reminding myself that just because Gary is not, he calls the Page of Pentacles something, and it's like that's not what it means. That's what it means to him.
Yeah,
and that's and again. He gets to the same answer I get to. It just takes him a little longer.
And Dave tells me when I'm not there.
Exactly. Come on.
Hurry
I'm so impatient.
So celebrate birthdays together. Yes. Very typically. We used to have the August birthdays hosted at our house because My son is an August birthday.
Our brother-in-law,
Yeah.
our niece, and you and me. There were like 5 of us who had birthdays.
And
so
our
rather
mom
than have
is
5 individual parties, we just piled them in the middle.
Yeah. It never occurred to me. Mom's a Leo too.
Yeah, she is, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's born at the end of July.
About that. So just there's a lot of August birthdays that we would just sort of host at our house. Killer.
Well, I don't know. Killer was significant. That was the first cat that we had. It was a pregnant cat that followed our eldest sister home when she was like all of 10 years old.
No, followed Gina home.
I thought it was Lori.
No, it was Gina. Followed Gina home.
Okay.
Dave and I decided the cat's name would be Killer because it was going to be a boy cat because we decided we wanted a boy cat. Anatomically, we missed.
Yeah. Apparently, the cat was extremely pregnant too. We missed that as well.
Yes.
We were what, 5 years old at the time? Maybe 6.
Probably 6.
Oh, it was before the Schnauzer. So
we got the dog when we were 7. So. In fact, I think I was in 2nd grade. In fact, so we were 7, but it was before we got the dog.
Before we understood about the birds and the bees.
Yeah, what happened was my dad was extraordinarily allergic to cats, and they ended up taking the cat to a shelter. And I only found out like just a few years ago that this cat was majorly pregnant and that it didn't just walk away, that our parents had taken it to a shelter. And I was outraged that this cat came to us for help and our parents decided that taking it to the shelter was the best course of action.
It was what was the breed? Was it a gray tabby? What's the
it was a tabby. It's a gray tabby, gray and black tabby.
Our eldest sibling is about 5 years, 8 months older than us. And then our next eldest sibling's like 2 years and 3 months older than us. Yeah,
just a couple years older. So our middle sister, we would share 1 year of junior high and 1 year of high school with. Our eldest sister, we never really went to school with her.
Other than elementary school. Elementary school? Yeah, I think she was in 6th grade when we were in kindergarten or something like that.
Yeah. How many cats do you have? I have 3.
Yes. Actually, you have 1. You have 1 cat.
Yes, true.
And you got 2 others that share the house with you.
Clearly. Kakuna is definitely my cat. I've been married to Laura. We are going on 21 years in September.
I am on year 6 with Michelle.
Yeah. Second time around.
We both have previous wives too. Both.
Do we have cats? Not really. We had Killer for like 4 to 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
We didn't have it.
Dad was allergic. We had a dog.
We had a Schnauzer.
And a dog that had hair as opposed to fur.
Yeah.
Some do. Probably not us.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Now, that being said, Gary and I have started the same hobbies at the same time, unbeknownst to each other. And that happened multiple times through life. The most recent one was both of us picked up the guitar we had talked about it, and we both started playing the guitar at age 50 or thereafter.
46. We're 46. Because you sent me a text. Out of the blue, I get a text of a Fender bass with a Fender bass amplifier. And it's like, oh my God, he finally blinked.
And I get a picture back of Gary with a 1965 Fender Jaguar that's kind of like a mint green color that he found in his father-in-law's closet. It was his father-in-law's brother's guitar.
He pulled it out of the closet. It was his older brother's guitar, and it was just out of the blue. It just showed up.
And Gary still plays. I stopped playing the bass after about a year and a half.
Yeah, I still play. I don't play well, but I still play. What are your favorite colors?
No, ah! All the Python fans are laughing.
Yes, exactly.
Have you ever learned "Wish You Were Here" on the acoustic?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great song to play on the acoustic.
It is a great song to play. It's for me. It depends. I would, if you just said in general, I would say blue.
Yeah,
But
blue's
for
been
me,
his favorite color for years.
It depends. Like if you're talking classic automobiles, orange, because we grew up in the 70s and earth tones were everything. And I've had an orange 240Z. I've had an orange Oldsmobile 442. I just, if it's an old car, I want an orange.
I remember as a little kid, we were probably in early elementary school, and you told me your favorite color was blue, and I didn't realize that one could have a favorite color. I know we had colors. I didn't have a favorite one, and I didn't know what to make of that. Eventually, I settled on green. Green is my favorite color.
Yeah, green was your color growing up, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, God. Mel Brooks is a god.
Mel Brooks.
He's our deity. Now, I love Python. Now, the thing about Python is that the way they did their TV series, even their movies, it's timeless. Their jokes about government bureaucracy, accountants being horribly boring and such, it never grows old. Mm-hmm. Mel Brooks, though. Mel Brooks is just absolutely hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And we have our father to thank for introducing us. First Mel Brooks movie would be High Anxiety.
Yes. Yeah.
And because that's what was showing at Showtime at the time when Dad recorded it. And then we started expanding the repertoire to Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. I think History of the World Part 1 was probably the first one we saw in theaters.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Big Mel Brooks fans. And my kids, one of their favorite movies is Spaceballs. And I guess Spaceballs 2 is coming out soon, so that'll be kind of fun to see.
Right.
Yay!
It was about 5 pounds. It just about 5 pounds each is what we were weighing.
And Philpott Perry also had an orange 240Z. Right on, Ann. I'll tell you what, for an early 70s sports car, that thing handled really, really well. It was almost as good as a modern car. Mine was a manual steering. I ended up getting an automatic. I bought it from the original owner. It had a blue California plate, and it had registration stickers that were this thick because he never pulled off the old ones. Sure. So I had like 40 years of registration stickers on that thing. But it handled beautifully, especially for a car that was built in the early 70s.
Why did you sell it?
It was just time.
Okay.
It ended up going to Europe. Both my cars, my 442 went to Norway, and the Datsun, I might have gone to Germany.
Swimming is life. I feel best on the water.
I agree, Stinker Bell. I was my brother-in-law and I went out to the local German pub, if you will, beer house, and we had a couple of beers, and I was feeling a little tired the next morning. And after swimming, I felt great. I was right back where I should have been, but it was a slow process to get to the pool that day.
I haven't been in the pool in a long time. I don't like how I look without my shirt on, so I need to horrify people. But when I have been in, getting the rust off of the joints has been difficult.
Yeah, it's going to take time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when we were younger, like in our 20s, you get back in the pool about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We were about 90% back to top speed. It was amazing how quickly it came back. Which car is your best one, dead or alive? I know Gary's answer. My answer would be the same if I had the same trim line that he did.
Oh, well, the car that I look back and I really miss the most, I've bought and sold a lot of cars over the years. I had a 1990 CRX SI, and it was yellow.
Barbados yellow.
Barbados yellow, Y49 color code. And
That's the one. I actually, when I go to bring a trailer, I look for those, and I get tempted because there's so many parts for it. It's a freaking Honda. It's going to run forever, man. It was a good car. Such a good car.
Of all the cars I had and sold, that's the only one I'd want back.
Yeah. I have a pair. I had a Fiat 2017 Fiat 124 Spider. It was red with the black heritage stripe. Striking looking car. It was mostly Mazda with a Fiat engine in it. And before you go, oh my God, what are you thinking? The Fiat 1.4 liter turbo is a bulletproof engine, especially in a light vehicle like that. Now, you don't want that in a Jeep product powering some 3,500 pound car because that poor engine's going to explode. But I really liked that car. And again, when I sold it, it was kind of, I sold it twice actually. Yeah, it's the same person. And it was, it was just kind of time. And then I replaced it with the 2007 Mazda Miata GT with the retractable hardtop. And I had that one for a year. And I wasn't planning on selling that car. I enjoyed that car a lot. But I ended up buying an EV. And in our place where Michelle and I live, we can get both cars in the garage, but there's a very, very limited amount of resident parking around the area. And I got tired of trying to put a car out into the reserved spots.
Yeah.
For that. Plus, Michelle has a plug-in hybrid. I have a full EV. Both need to be charged. And I didn't want to park my little two-seat roadsters outside in the elements. They were garage queens. So I don't know if I miss any one of them. If nostalgic wise, I'd love to have a CRX again, and I would get the Barbados Yellow SI like my brother had. I had an HF, which was the super duper gas mileage one because I was commuting from San Jose to San Francisco for work on the weekends and my parents and such. So getting 50 miles per gallon back in the late 80s, early 90s was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Libby had a 69 440 Charger RT Magnum, pulled 11 scooter. Holy Christ.
We did look at at one point, Gary and I looked at a 1968 Charger RT with a 440 in it, but it wasn't a numbers matching car. It was some guy that had put together something. It was a beautiful black car.
No.
No, and not really. It's no special treatment from the parents. No, unless getting yelled at by your father was special treatment.
Our sisters, our eldest sister would tease us, like if they would say, "Oh, are there any girls you like?" And we'd foolishly give out names, and then they would start teasing us about it. So Dave and I learned very early on to be very guarded about sharing information that could be used against you in a teasing fashion. Other than that, our sisters were actually really good to us.
Yeah, and the sister that was the closest to our age, we actually were closer to much through like junior high school and high school and such because you're a more empathetic person.
Yeah. How far apart do we live? As far as we can.
Exactly. It's about 35 miles as the crow flies. It's about, what, 50 miles, 45 miles, I think, between our houses driving? About an hour to drive it.
It takes about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, depending on traffic. Don't know.
I'm going to let you answer that one.
I have no idea. I think Dave's probably got a little more. Dave's a little more sensitive, a little more, got a little more of that empathy going there. I'd say probably not as much. I'm getting there.
I'm on there. I agree with that. Which means Gary doesn't eat his feelings nearly as much as I do.
But, there's sometimes why I can put together a reading after something really crappy has happened, and Dave needs time to sort of regenerate.
Yeah, like the election. I needed a week.
Insulation is good. My 6-pack is still currently insulated too.
Let's see. Oh God, that is absolutely true. But it's only a little over a year.
Wow, does seem like a long time.
Okay.
Good question.
I just have, I have a black tourmaline and a obsidian point, which I use for grounding. As far as the other ones, I just picked out various colors of the ones I liked. I didn't really look at the spiritual meanings very much on them, but and for the people that ask Gary, about once a season, Gary asks me what they are again. You have rose quartz, you got prehnite, you've got sodalite, carnelian, and I love the veining on this one. This one's amazing. Then I've got a quartz which has some tourmaline inclusions in there, a snowflake obsidian, and a tumbled amethyst. Why do I pick them? Because I like the colors and I like the looks of them and I like the size, and I carry them in a little purple velvet bag over there with my cards, and I throw it on a selenite plate after I'm done reading, and that's how I take my crystals like these guys. I'll put them on a selenite plate. Oh, and then I've got like this sort of juicy
amethyst there.
Amethyst. I cycle through my cabinet over there with the various crystals that I have.
Dave's got a lot of rocks over there
for a little enhancement. We have two older sisters.
Much older. Oh my God. David.
Yeah, you're right. If you for whatever 8th or 9th grade counts as, but yeah, even first steady girlfriend, it would have been junior in high school.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Shelly just sent us a text. Oh, Shelly just sent a text about Elon Musk officially starting the America Party. She's a little late to the party. Thank you.
Please click the thumbs up and subscribe. Yes, please do. Yes. I had because of that video by Dan Greeny, the writer for The Simpsons, who predicted Trump would be elected president in one episode. He went on and put out a couple TikTok videos predicting the demise, which he thinks will happen at the end of the year. It will be spectacular and undeniable, and then America will move forward united. I'm not sure how that will happen, but that was his prediction. And then he also predicted that J.D. Vance would not become president or anybody in Trump's inner circle. So exciting times ahead. He was thinking, he felt like it would happen at the end of the year. With that being said, I've had a couple months worth of subscribers just on that one video alone.
Yeah, that one, you really rocked it with that one.
Yeah, and for the folks that are watching this stream that subscribe to my channel because of that video, welcome to the stream. Please do also go to the Twin Tarot with Gary and David if you want to throw that into the comments there so that they've got a hyperlink they can open up in a new tab. Subscribe to that one as well. Gary and I try to put out a video a day on that channel as well, although there are times where I'm just so damn done that Gary has his Not David to help him with that one.
Me and Not David do the readings when Dave just doesn't have the bandwidth.
Yeah, and that happens. What does your mom think about your reading tarot? I don't think she quite thinks it's fully satanic. I think she just kind of like,
okay, just Gary and David doing their stuff.
I tend to use the Rider-Waite. I think the first one I bought was Dreams by Sarah Marchetti, but I go with the standard Rider-Waite deck because it's I'm so familiar with it. I can whip things out. Gary has a Rider-Waite deck as well, but his is called the Dark Forest or the Special Forest.
Yeah, it's a Dark Forest borderless vintage tarot deck.
And basically all I think his is like they took the art image, they scanned it and then they blew it up to get rid of the white borders on it, basically, because it looks a little fuzzy when I see the pictures.
Yeah, it's so I like the borderless because the pictures are a lot larger, and then it's got a more of a vintage. They've kind of yellowed or browned it a bit to give it a kind of an older look. I sent Dave a copy from Etsy, but I don't think it's quite the same level of quality as this one here. What are your hobbies? What are your hobbies these days? Baldur's Gate, I'd say, is Dave's.
Yeah, I'm kind of hobbyless at the moment. I go through maybe we could talk about hobbies I've done in the past.
Yeah.
I played electric bass guitar for a while. I did saltwater aquariums. For the longest time, I played a game from Games Workshop called Warhammer or Warhammer 40K. So assembling 1-inch tall models made of plastic or metal, and then painting those. And I've painted hundreds, if not thousands, of models.
He was actually taking on, people were actually paying him to paint their models for him.
Yes, and let me tell you, artists are wildly underpaid. You don't want to pay them for their actual time. Currently, computer games. I don't really have any hobbies right now that I'm pursuing.
For me,
guitar has been consistent.
String guitar. I've been doing.
Have you ever a 12-string yet?
I've not gotten a 12-string yet. I can hardly handle the 6. I'm like an orc trying to play a lute. It's just not a good combination.
It's just hearing some songs that are 12-string guitar. When you hear them on 6 strings, it's okay, but when you hear them on 12 strings, it's like, oh my God, the difference.
You get so much more jangle out of a 12.
I know, man. Tell me about it.
What are my hobbies? I've been exercising a lot lately. I've been trying to lose weight. Laura and I are going to the Oktoberfest in Munich in September. So I'm on a mission to see if I can lose enough weight to get into the lederhosen I bought the last time I went. So I've dropped about 20, 25 pounds. I need to lose another 20. So
good job
to get in there. Yes. And yes.
only one time though, because it's no fun to do it. It was wildly successful.
Yeah. No one caught on. Oh yeah.
It was no fun because we were always treated like a unit. Matter of fact, there's still joke that people think Gary and I were Siamese twins. And it's like if I were to show up at a dance and Gary didn't go, "Where's your brother?" Not like, "Hey, David, how's it going?" It's like, "Where's your brother?" And maybe because they didn't know which one of us was which, and then I would say, "Oh, Gary didn't show up," so now they know they're talking to David. Not always picking up on those clues, so to speak. But yes, to the point where sometimes it's kind of difficult, especially baby pictures, to figure out who is who. Now, when my son was born, I could tell the difference between Gary and myself in baby pictures easy because my son looked exactly like me. And so I just looked at the baby pictures. Okay, which one looks like my son? Okay, that's got to be me in that one.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do too. That's really never been a problem. Well, I guess it was a problem on the first marriage.
I still remember my first marriage anniversary too. Actually, all the time.
Birthdays and Christmas, they get lots of gifts.
Psychically, no. My daughter is a very good artist, and my son has a wicked sense of humor.
Yeah, my kids, that would be a hard no. At least that they haven't shown any interest in it or anything along those lines.
What is my favorite beer? The one that's in front of me, or the next one coming. My favorite brand of beer they don't make anymore was Anchor Steam. It was
okay.
San Francisco. I'd say now I really enjoy 805, which is out of San Luis Obispo. But I really enjoy Paul Anner. So when we go to the Oktoberfest, you will find me ultimately hanging out in the Paul Anner tent.
For me, I tend to like pale ales. My like Sam Adams was. If I was just going to grab a 6-pack of beers, Sam Adams was going to be my choice on that.
Yeah,
one.
good call.
Right now, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is what is readily available that I really like. Drake's 1500, which is another pale ale, which I think is even a step up above Sierra Nevada. I really like, but it's not always carried. I've gone through my stouts. Guinness in a can is absolutely amazing with the little widget. Good tasting stuff. Faux show. I do not like IPAs. I swear it's like a pissing contest with IPA. And by pissing, I mean it's like who can make the most bitter, undrinkable IPA made from the tears of nuns and orphans, and oh God. Yeah. All right, we've been going for almost 2 hours. Let's wrap it up here. Thank you again, everyone. Oh, let me go through the last. See if there's any more donations that have come up in here. Yes.
The problem with IPAs, they were very drinkable in the late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah, IPAs have changed. It's like a race to the bottom with them. They become so popular that it's like they just have to. I got to be the most bitter IPA available.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah Murphy.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, everyone. Again, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Twin Tarot with Gary and David channel. It's always appreciated. And again, with the video that I put out the other day of the Simpsons prediction about the end of Trump's regime, that's my most watched video. That surpassed Little X telling Donald that he wasn't the real president. That just blew past that one last night as far as that goes. And my subsequent videos have all had 2 to 3 times the normal views that they normally get. And it's really encouraging to put out a product and then see that there are more people watching it and engaging it. It's monetized. Money aside, it's not about the money. It's being heard, and getting your message out. And I've been kind of low energy because it's just sort of like stagnating, and then bam, this one goes bananas, and then the next 4 or 5 goes bananas. It's encouraging, and I need encouragement sometimes because I get mired.
I noticed that when we were doing our readings yesterday, the reading that came out today with Iran, and then we got one more reading coming out the weeks together, that your energy was definitely up on that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for H.
It's the push on the swing that I need to start going again, because you get tired and then you wonder, is it making any difference? And it does. And you know what? If you look up his name, let me go to my channel real quick, because I have his name and I want to make sure I'm putting it out there correctly. He's got a YouTube video out that came out like 10 years ago that talked about that. I want to go watch that because I want to see what he said on it. Posts. It was Dan Greeney, Greaney. Let me look him up.
Hi, Sarah Sluha.
Yeah, thank you. Cover for me.
Yeah, I saw Sarah. She just said that she got in late. And I totally recognize your last name because I tried pronouncing it, and you said don't pronounce the Z. Sluha. Sarah Sluha. Did I get that right, Sarah? Yeah, sometimes if you don't have a good thumbnail or a super memorable name, you just have a name I can't pronounce. Leslie also.
Here's the link. I haven't watched this video. It only has 500 views. But I want to watch this one. This one was put up. The Simpsons writer, why I predicted Donald Trump would become president of the United States. This was put up 8 years ago and has 550 views. So wow. I'd be really curious to see. I have no idea the quality of the video. I'm going to go check that out. I'm curious what he said 8 years ago, and if it aligns with what he has now. If you want to see the TikTok videos, go to my posts channel. Let me go get you a link to that. Okay, hang on for a second. Gary, cover for me.
Yes, Amy Warrior Princess. I don't know why people have such a tough time pronouncing your last name. Princess seems to be a very standard last name.
If you if you follow that link, that'll take you to my community page, and a couple posts down, you'll see the Dan Greeny post, and there's a couple links to TikTok. Now, I think if you have a phone without TikTok on it, it may not show it to you. But if you have a computer, you should be able to click on that link or copy and paste that link into your browser, and it should come up and watch. So they're only a couple minutes long, and he does it with a great sense of humor. He says, I'm the writer for Simpsons. Then he does a hand wave, and he goes, I'm a prophet. And he does he looks off to the side, and he comes back, and he's got this big fake white beard and a robe and like a shepherd's crook, and then he gives his prediction. So he's using humor to kind of deflect the fact that he probably is really intuitive, but he's not ready to come out of the closet yet. So he'll do something silly instead, and he's using that humor as a shield to prevent people from going after him or thinking he's weird or something like that. But it's worth a view. Okay. Anything else you want to throw out there before we kind of?
Yeah. So I'm going to be. Dave's going to out of town next week. You're leaving on Monday, right?
Yes, I'm going to Mendocino. That's mine and Michelle's special spot, and that's where I go to recharge.
Yeah. And then,
so if you're in the Mendocino area, go poking around. You may find us up there.
You find the arts or rock stores. You may find David. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be. That's
in Fort Bragg.
Yeah, not this Thursday, but a week from this Thursday, we had some family event that happened over in England. So Laura and I and the kids are going to be flying over to London. Not like I said, not this Thursday, but a week from Thursday. What I'll do is I'll record some videos to put up, but I'll probably have the comments turned off simply because I just won't have the bandwidth to respond. So I'll be back probably Tuesday after that. So it's like the 20th to the 24th. So probably Wednesday I'll be back live again.
You can leave the comments on. Just lead up your video saying, I won't be responding to the comments because I won't have time to do it. I mean,
that's fair.
Let people because I think when you put comments up there, it helps feed the algorithm so that it gets out to other people.
Yeah, so it's just I just won't have the ability to respond. It's just we got so much going on. We did have a water wiggle. Oh my God.
Wiggle was amazing. We were little when we had the water wiggle. I remember this is the best thing ever.
This little plastic cap that shot the water out the back end with this crazy expression. Surprisingly, how did we survive the 70s with the toys and stuff?
Because we didn't have lawn darts. That's the only reason why we are alive today. Dad knew the limit was lawn darts. Okay. Yeah. So Gary and I will both be on. I'll be on a vacation next week. Gary's on vacation the week after that. It might be a little bit limited on the content. I probably will record when I'm up there because I'm not. The last time I went to Mendo, I was drained. I needed a break. I'm not feeling as drained this time, so I'll probably post up. Previously, when I've been up there, I've also grabbed my my phone and a little tripod, and I recorded the ocean crashing, and I put up little meditation videos just so that you can watch 6 minutes or 10 minutes of the ocean crashing, and you could just if you wanted the ocean sounds from the Pacific, you could listen to that. And God, I love it up there. I absolutely love it up there. Okay, everyone, thank you again. We're coming on the 2-hour mark at this point. Thank you for supporting our videos. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for all the super stickers and the super chats and everything like that you've thrown up there. Yeah, Gary will have all the beer money and cat treats that
yes, indeed,
that he could possibly imagine until next month's live.
I just hope I don't confuse the two.
You've been known to eat your fill of cat food. It's so tasty.
The cats they're sitting on the couch drinking beer, and I'm crunching on some kibble.
and again, thank you, everyone. I realize times are stressful right now. We'll get through this. We're not through the darkness yet. Just saying, especially with this ICE budget and Trump with his Gestapo going on, things will likely appear even worse. We're going to see more stuff that upsets us. Do what you got to do to take care of yourself. I find going to protests helps tremendously because you're amongst like-minded people that are offended by what they're seeing here. So do what you got to do for self-care. Take a break if you need to take a break. And we'll catch you on the next video. Take care, everyone.
Hey, for Denise A secret card, because she just came on. Denise A, you get the Hierophant. Go out there and make sure the government knows how you feel, honey.
Exactly. Let the collective knows how you feel. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.
I didn't hit that second end stream button yet. We're still going.
We're going to keep going.
Give everybody else a secret. Why don't you give everybody else a secret card?
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. This is from Not David. A Not David secret card.
The best kind.
What
a thieving bastard he is.